how do you explain that to someone who is not a pharmacy technician like you, right? This is the key to communication, having them not get more and more upset. If you want to be a certified pharmacy technician, please become a pharmacy technician first. Hey y'all, glad you came. I'm Monique. Welcome and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking all about customer service in retail pharmacy, how to become a certified pharmacy technician on your own, okay? And then also how to make sure you are keeping up with your continuing education so you can keep your license up to date after being certified and after being licensed. All right, so the first topic is going to be customer service. This is a very good topic because I do feel like retail pharmacy is very unique because in retail pharmacy, you are doing a public service, meaning that you don't know who you are going to be dealing with when you go to work, okay? It's a public service. So anyone can come in and come to the pharmacy, right? What that means is you're going to have a wide variety of personalities and attitudes when it comes to people picking up their medication. Now, first and foremost, I want you to take a step back and understand that you do work in the pharmacy, meaning that you do work with prescription medications all day, right? So what that means is someone coming to you, they may already be in a mental mindset that is not positive for many different reasons. Sometimes they could have been diagnosed with a new disease. They could find out something that is disappointing. They could be in pain. They could be stressed out. They could have, emotional challenges, different things like that, right? And so knowing that these are the types of personalities and attitudes that are coming to the pharmacy, then it's going to help you to kind of take a step back and not take everything so personally. That's the first thing. This is business and customer service. Don't take everything so personal. If someone is mean or has an attitude, it's most likely not you. Remember those things I just mentioned? It's everything that is internal. It's not external. That's going to help you not to take offense so fast. Matter of fact, the longer you work at customer service, you will not be fazed because you will fully understand and know that it has nothing to do with you, most likely, if you have good customer service. Okay? So let's just go through a scenario. We'll go through 3 scenarios. Okay, so the first scenario is going to be the most, simple customer. This customer comes once a month, every month to pick up, their medication. It's a maintenance medication. We're going to say this is a female. She may be between the ages of 30 and 55. And she comes every month. She comes to the pharmacy. You say, "Hello, may I help you?" Okay, that's the first thing. Smile. If you help someone, remember, they're coming to you because they have a condition, right? Something's going on. So if you greet them with, "Hello, may I help you?" Do you see the energy that that's giving off versus, "Hi, may I help you?" Right? So once you do that, you already put them in a position of positivity, even though they may not be feeling positive, right? So automatically, it's not you, it's them, okay? And then once they tell you what they want, who they are, things like that, "May I have your address?" Right? Different things like that. See how I asked, may I? See my tone of voice too? Sometimes your tone of voice has to kind of like, adjust, right? This is a simple customer. So they say, "Okay, great." And you say, "Okay, do you have any questions for the pharmacist?" They may say yes or no, and then there you have it. That transaction is done. Let's go into customer B. Customer B comes up to you, and let's say this is an adult, and it could be male or female, and they're picking up their medication. Now you greet them again. Remember, "Hi, may I help you?" And they say,
"Yes, I want to get my medication or my pain medicine."
"Oh, okay." So you look at the profile and you realize on your end, remember, you see this, they don't. On your end, you see that they cannot get it yet because it has RTS, refill too soon, okay? I talked more about that in the other video. You can go watch that video about filling prescriptions. So now you know that it's not ready. Now, what are you going to do? Are you going to say, "Oh, it's not ready. It's too early"? No, you're not going to say that. You're going to say, "Oh, you know what? It looks like it's actually too soon to be filled. Let me see the last date that you got the medication filled." Now, this person, this is not customer A, this is customer B. Customer B is like,
Oh, no, 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 no. I need my medicine. This is not too soon. That's not true. You all do this every single month, every single month. Every time I come in here, it's always a mess.
This is normal. And so remember, you're not taking anything personal. When the customer B said to you, you all do this every single time I come, do not take that personal. They're not talking about you. They're talking about the pharmacy as a whole. So don't take it personal. So you continue to do your research as to find out when they last got the prescription filled. Okay. So in doing your research, I want you to be very specific. Okay. Oh, sir, first of all, apologize. Okay. You know what? I'm sorry that this is happening, but it looks like, according to our records, you got your last medication filled on this date. Therefore, 30 days from that date is going to be tomorrow and not today. And, due to regulations, we actually cannot sell this medication to you a day early. Would you like to talk to my pharmacist, or would you like to, ask any further questions or anything like that? And then they will say, yes or no. Sometimes they may be very upset. Maybe they want to talk to the pharmacist or maybe even the manager, whatever the case may be. That is fine, okay? So you can let them know that's just fine. I'll let them know that you want to speak to them or whatever the case may be. So there you have it. Now I want to take a step back and just say too, you don't want to automatically volunteer the pharmacist to take care of issues. Part of being a really good pharmacy technician is being able to dissolve issues on your own without the pharmacist. So you may not always volunteer the pharmacist to do something or say something, but if you feel like that's going to, validate the customer, then that's a thing, okay? Because they are, over the pharmacy and they do have the authority in telling the patient why and why not, right? So there you have it. Now, of course, many things can happen in a situation. People may call you out of your name, okay? If somebody, gets really out of control or anything like that, then obviously you're going to call the manager in security, obviously. But most likely that does not happen, especially if you handle it the way I just told you to handle it, because there is nothing more they can do or request from you. You told them why. You have given them a reason, and you've been very confident in the way that you're giving your answer, okay? So being kind, being positive, and being confident in the way that you are, giving your answer to the customer. All right. So that's that one. Now, customer C. Customer C is just all over the place. Okay. Customer C is not picking up pain medication. Customer C is picking up medication. And customer C is just saying all kind of stuff. The attitude is just off before you even get started, right? So you already know it's going to be a situation. They're just going to be mean the entire time. Again, not a thing against you, okay? So this is customer C. What are you going to do? Hey, or hello, may I help you? And they're going to say,
well, I'm coming up here because y'all called me and told me that my medication is not covered by insurance. And I have insurance, and I gave y'all my card. And I don't understand it. Every time I come, y'all do this.
Again, you hear that sentence? Every time I come, y'all do. Y'all is not you, so don't take it personally. First thing you do, apologize. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that you feel that way. I'm so sorry. Let me just do some research and look into it, please. Just give me just a moment. So once you do that, go ahead and look everything up, right? So let's say that the person has like a DUR or they have a PA, which is a prior authorization. So how do you explain that to someone who is not a pharmacy technician like you, right? This is the key to communication, having them not get more and more upset. So once you find out that it is something that has a DUR or maybe even a prior authorization, if it is a DUR, I want you to stay silent because remember, you see the computer screen. They don't. If you see DUR, I want you to go to the pharmacist. I want you to ask them, hey, is this a DUR that I can remove or can you remove this? Because that could fix the problem right there and it could be out the door in 10 minutes, right? Or if it's a prior authorization, I want you to, again, stop, be calm. You know what? I see that your medication has something called a prior authorization. And what that means is that the insurance company is not going to be able to cover this without some more information from the physician. Okay? That's it. They come back with,
but my physician wrote the prescription. So what are you talking about? Doesn't make any sense.
Remember, they say, what are you talking about? That's not towards you. Okay? Don't take it personal. So then you're going to say, well, sometimes physicians write prescriptions and they're not aware of which medications that the insurance company will cover according to the diagnosis. So that's why this particular medication needs a prior authorization. Okay? So at that point, okay, so this is the customer C.
So you mean to tell me that I can't have my medicine? My doctor wrote for it, but I can't have my medicine.
Yeah, well, you can have your medication as soon as we get verification from the doctor. Would you like me to call the physician, or would you like to call the physician?
Well, I want you to call the physician.
Okay, great. I will let you, now remember this part. I will let you know that I'm going to call a physician, but it also helps if you, the patient, contacts them as well, because they usually move even quicker when a patient does call and request for the PA to be taken off for them to get their medication, right? So just kind of make them aware of that as well. All right, most of the time, that will fix the prior authorization patient, okay? Now, in the case where you have somebody who has a medication that they cannot afford, it is too expensive, all right, there are things you can do. You can try to run discount cards and things of that nature. You can try to call the insurance company for them. But if you have a very long line, which is going to be the majority of the time in the retail pharmacy, what you want to do is you want to say, hey, I am going to help the customers that are behind you, okay? But I'm also going to be on the phone calling the insurance company for you. So can you give me a moment to do that, and then I can call you back up when I'm finished? Or you can come back to the store when I'm finished talking to the insurance company. Like, let them know you're going to take care of their problem. You're not just going to pick up the phone and start calling, and then you have this big old long line. They see the long line behind them, but let them know their priority. You are doing that, but you're also going to have to help the people. You're also going to have to help the people behind them, okay? So there you have it. Again, clear, concise communication that is positive and reassuring is going to get you 100 times further than you having a bad attitude because you think that their attitude is against you. It is not against you. It is internal, not external, okay? Unless you are part of the problem because you also have an attitude. So you want to, leave your attitude somewhere else and bring your positivity into the pharmacy. And again, just understanding why people are there with you in that moment. It is because they do not feel well and or they have a disease that they are managing, okay? All right, so that is the customer service piece. Let me know if you have any questions. I mean, I can only think of a few scenarios. And yes, in my years of being a pharmacy technician, unfortunately, I have had customers, say bad things. They may call you out of your name and things like that. But you know what? I just it kept a smile on my face, and most of the times I would just have a technician kind of take over for a second while I calm down, and then come back to the register when that technician was done helping that patient. Sometimes it does take you stepping away and just asking, would someone else mind helping this customer? Because this customer does not want me to help them. So, and again, don't say that in front of them. Please walk around the corner and say that, because if they hear you say that, now you are creating a different problem. And yes, I also have seen many times they have basically adapted to the bad attitude of the customer, and now you have two bad attitudes that only make something worse happen. So that has happened as well. I have seen it all probably in my time being a pharmacy technician. So, but I've always been on the side of staying calm, being nice, and if someone is just, bent on being rude or inappropriate, then me just kindly stepping away and talking to my pharmacist and asking, can someone else help them? Most likely your pharmacist will be willing to take over the situation for you, okay? All right, so the next thing we're going to get into is going to be becoming a certified pharmacy technician on your own. This means not going to a college or a community college or a tech college, maybe not even working in a pharmacy initially. But I will say this. I will say that the number one thing that I suggest for anyone wanting to be anything is to test the waters. Test the waters. And a lot of times, testing the waters is a low point of entry, meaning that if you want to be a certified pharmacy technician, please become a pharmacy technician first without a certification. So, especially in retail, this is very easy to do. There are many retail community pharmacies that need help. Go and work there. The reason I say this is because if you spend money and spend time becoming certified, yet you really do not like this job, then it was not worth it from the beginning. So, my first tip, number one, before doing any of the things that I'm going to share with you, get a job as a pharmacy technician in a retail setting. That's my first tip. Okay? All right. Also, that may aid in you actually having them pay for your certification later on, if that's the case, right? So that's just my first tip, because yes, you can do it, probably, studying and taking the test and then getting the job, but I just think it would be disappointing if one did all that and then didn't even like it, right? And that can be a fact, because especially like I just talked about, you have to be someone who you have to be good with people. If you're not good with people, this is not gonna be the job for you, especially not in retail. Now in hospital, that's a totally different story. It's a totally different video. But when it comes to the easier barrier of entry, when it comes to retail, please go ahead and make sure you can actually handle it first. Okay, it's pharmacy is a lot of standing. It's not a lot of sitting. So it's a lot of physical energy that, you may not be used to. So I want you to get your body and your mind adjusted to this type of work before you go and spend a lot of time and money on resources to become certified. All right, so the first resource is going to be on Amazon.com. We love Amazon. So Amazon.com has many, many books are dedicated to PTCB, which is the board in which you get certified through here in the United States. So what you're going to do is you're going to go on there and you're going to go to the Mometrics book. I say Mometrics because Mometrics has a good history of helping people pass tests, not only just PTCB, but also other college entry tests, the NCLEX for nurses, different things like that. So Mometrics is a really good choice and a trustworthy brand for the most part, but you can get any brand you want, but I'm just going to suggest this one. So go ahead and do that, and then after that, get you some flashcards, all right? So get you some flashcards that have to do with the most used 200 to 300. The reason I say this, and the reason I'm suggesting this particular card deck is because I know it says for NCLEX for nurses, but I promise you that if you get this deck, it will be even better for you, because you'll know not only the brand and generic, but you'll know what this stuff is for. Now, a little pro tip. Once you learn what medication is for, you can almost determine how people are going to be when they pick up their medication. You're going to know what is something that is a light prescription, meaning that it's something, maybe it's not like a major condition or anything like that, versus something that is very serious. Because once you kind of know the difference, from like light condition to serious condition to, maintenance condition to pain condition, you're going to be able to kind of tell the demeanor of this customer. All right. So that's a little pro tip, because if you've been in pharmacy long enough, then you know. But anyway, that's why I suggest going ahead and learning what the medications are for. That way, when someone is upset or if someone is rude, you may actually have more of an insight to why, because you know what this medication means to them. Okay. All right. So those are the cards I suggest. Now, next up, if you want to get like a guide to kind of put everything together in one little area, then you can go ahead and get this guide. You don't have to get this. If anything, I would say get the book and get the cards, because the book also comes with the test, and you always want to take as many practice tests as possible, right? So there you have it. There goes your book, there goes your cards, and there goes like your quick read guide, okay? All right, the next thing up is to head on over to ptcb.org. This is where you need to be. This is where you need to make an account, okay? Go ahead and do that. Once you do that, go ahead and look around the website. They have resources on their website, some of which may not cost you anything. Some, may have a price. I'm not really sure, because I haven't really used any of these. But go ahead and look around there. They have practice tests on there. But most importantly, I want you to look at what the PTCB exam consists of. What are the categories? This is where I want you to focus, because this is where you're going to be actually taking your practice test and seeing where you need to be stronger and where you are weaker, okay, according to these different sections. And always check this website, because you never know when these sections might change. All right, so this is a very, good place to start when it comes to studying and knowing what to study. People always ask that question. Well, actually, it's right there for you for free for you to look at, right, at ptcb.org. All right, so that is that. Once you have everything together, you want to come back to this website. You already have your account. You want to go ahead and apply, do all the things need to be done, get your test date, get your pay for your test and things like that. All of this is going to be an investment of probably under $500. So I don't know like the exact estimate, but with the Amazon study materials and also with the test fee, I'm thinking under $500. Okay. So there you have it. Now, once you have this website, then you're pretty much good to go because you can do everything from this website. They have different things on there too you can kind of read about as far as getting different certifications, different badges and things like that to go along with your main certification. But that's for you to look at later on. You want to really just focus on getting certified, all right? Because once you get certified, you can then work in a hospital setting. And if you don't like customer service, then that's going to be able to take you out of customer service and put you into the hospital, right? All right, so there you have it. Now, last but not least, once you actually become certified, you do not just stay certified forever. You actually have these different things you have to do called continuing education credits, okay? They're called CEs. You have to do these pretty much, I believe, every 2 years at the taping of this video, and you have to get so many credits in order to keep your certification up to date. And you want to do this because if you let this, lapse, then it's a possibility you have to actually retake the exam again. We don't want to do that. So that's the first part. The second part is you also have to keep your licensure up. And the licensure, I think it lasts, I want to say a year to 2 years. I'll put it on the screen once I know what it is, but you want to keep that up as well. Now, altogether, keeping this up does cost money. However, it is worth it. All right, so one thing I want to point you to with the continuing education credits is going to be PowerPak.com, I believe. It's going to be up here on the screen. This is my favorite. I get this every 2 years. I go in here, I pay the fee, I take all of my 20 to 21 credits, and I'm done. I usually can finish within 2 days. So yes, it does cost, but at least you have, the security of knowing that every CE is for pharmacy technicians. You have a complete library, and to be honest, you do learn some stuff while you take these CEs, so they're kind of cool, right? All right, so that's my tip on my continuing education credit resource, all right? Okay, so the licensure, that's going to be by state. It's going to be up to your state and how they mail it out to you, but they will mail that out to you. Just know that your manager will ask you about that once it's getting close to the time, but you as a technician need to keep up with your own certification, your own licensure, and that way they don't even have to ask you, all right? So altogether, to continue to be a certified pharmacy technician, you will be spending probably a little bit under $300 about every 2 years, all right? And that's just at the taping of this video. It could go up as time goes on. So those are just the tips and the resources that I have, and I hope these things are helpful for you guys. If you have any questions about what I have talked about today, please let me know in the description section below the video. And I will talk to you guys on the next upload.